I do not believe you are a racist. And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground.
You're not teaming up with segregationists to stop a war or something. You're teaming up with them to do segregation.
But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful to hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country.
He worked with segregationists to oppose busing.
There was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools, and she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
A death blow.
No wonder he was against busing. He found himself under one.
So I will tell you that on this subject, we have to take it seriously. As Attorney General of California, I was very proud to put in place a requirement that all my special agents would wear body cameras and keep those cameras on.
Now, Kamala, you know you want some bullshit.
Kamala Harris, who just said, quote, "We have to have body cameras and they have to keep them on," opposed statewide police officer body cameras just a few years ago.
His response? Crash and burn. And she absolutely got the better of him here.
It's a mischaracterization of my position across the board. I did not praise racist. That is not true, number one. Number two, if we want to have this campaign litigated on who supports civil rights and whether I did or not, I'm happy to do that. I was a public defender. I didn't become a prosecutor.
Whoa. He basically said, I was a public defender, not a prosecutor. In other words, I was defending the black community, not locking them up like your cop-ass, bitch.
As the Vice President of the United States, I
worked with segregationists to say, I don't know, I think the federal government should stay out.
You would have been able to go to school the same exact way because it was a local decision.
Everyone knows what it means when someone invokes states' rights.
Made by your city council.
He is using states' rights as a defense.
She put Biden in the position where he was actually defending states' rights on segregationist policy.
Look, everything I've done in my career, I ran because of civil rights. I continue to think we have to make fundamental changes in civil rights. And those civil rights, by the way, include not just only African Americans, but the LGBT community.
But do you agree today that you were wrong to oppose busing in America then?
No.
He says no.
Do you agree?
I did not oppose busing in America.
I did not oppose busing.
What I opposed is busing ordered by the Department of Education.
I opposed busing ordered by the Department of Education.
That's what I opposed.
So you opposed busing desegregation. That's what that means.
Well, there was a failure of states to integrate public schools in America.
This is exactly what the civil rights fight was about.
I was part of the second class to integrate Berkeley, California public schools almost 2 decades after Brown v. Board of Education.
Because your city council made that decision.
Okay, we just allowed the states to get to decide how to segregate or not segregate people.
So the state has the right to do whatever we want to do. So if we want to have white water fountains and black water fountains, they could shut the fuck up. And if we want to have segregation in school busing, well, they could shut the fuck up because that's how we want to do it here. This is all about states' rights. It has nothing to do with race.
It was a
so
local
that's
decision.
where the federal government must step in. That's why we have the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act.
And she lands it. Boom. I mean, Biden was bleeding from the ear.
That's why we need to pass the Equality Act.
She dealt the fatal blow.
Because there are moments in history where states fail to preserve the civil rights of all people.
That's when the Department of Education was saying we need to get involved here because there's still segregation in the schools and segregation in the busing to the schools. So we're going to get involved and say, you have to desegregate the school buses.
She may have just single-handedly taken down a frontrunner. Completely embarrassing.
He got annihilated on busing.
Kamala Harris absolutely destroyed Joe Biden.
I mean, this is appalling.
Kamala Harris just eviscerated Biden.
Kamala Harris crushed tonight. I have not seen a blow that hard in a debate in a long time. I mean, that was an uppercut that landed.
This is a mashup video I did of all my favorite political commentators I watch on YouTube. TYT, The Rational National, Humanist Report, Secular Talk, The Majority Report. Make sure you go on YouTube and subscribe to their channels to see the full videos and full context.